When you think of Kyoto, what comes to mind? It's ancient temples, quiet geisha districts, and traditions that have lasted for centuries, right? But behind the sliding paper doors of old Matcha houses and down unmarked alleyways, something totally unexpected is happening. Kyoto is quietly becoming a hotspot for creatives, but not in the way you'd think. There are no flashy studios or big production houses. Instead, there's a growing network of hidden creator cafes, where Japanese YouTubers are planning, editing, and building their entire online careers, one cup of matcha at a time. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these secret spaces, where ancient tradition meets modern digital ambition. We'll explore how these quiet corners are fueling the next generation of Japan's top creators. So, what exactly is a creator cafe in Japan? Well, you won't find them advertising themselves. There are no neon signs flashing YouTubers welcome here. Instead, these are quiet, unassuming cafes that just happen to have a very specific set of features that creators love. We're talking strong, reliable Wi-Fi, plenty of power outlets discreetly placed, a calm and respectful atmosphere where everyone keeps to themselves, seating that's comfortable enough for a long stay, and most importantly, owners who understand and respect the creative process. In Kyoto, this concept is taken to another level. These cafes often blend traditional Japanese aesthetics like tatami mat floors, dark wooden beams, and soft paper lanterns with the needs of a modern digital lifestyle. They are sanctuaries where creativity can happen quietly, without the constant interruptions of a typical busy coffee shop. It's a perfect fusion of old and new, creating a unique environment for focused work. But why are so many creators flocking to Kyoto in the first place? Slow, reflective, and encourages deep focus. Many Japanese YouTubers come here specifically to escape what they call algorithm burnout. They need a place to reset creatively, to write scripts without the constant distraction of a bustling city, and to edit their long-form content in complete peace. The entire rhythm of Kyoto encourages a different kind of thinking, one that's essential for good storytelling. Creators I've spoken to say that being in Kyoto helps them think more long-term about their channels. It encourages them to prioritize quality over quantity and to focus on meaningful, sustainable growth rather than just chasing the next viral trend. This mindset aligns perfectly with the Japanese cultural values of patience, dedication, and craftsmanship, making Kyoto the ideal backdrop for building a lasting creative career. Let me paint you a picture of what it's like inside one of these hidden creator cafes. Imagine a narrow, stone-paved street near the Gion district. You see a simple wooden door with no sign, nothing to suggest what's inside. You slide it open, and you're met with the sound of soft jazz, the earthy scent of freshly roasted matcha, and an almost sacred silence. At a small wooden table, a travel YouTuber is storyboarding their next Kyoto vlog on a tablet. Across the room, a faceless creator, known only by their online avatar, is meticulously editing subtitles frame by frame. In a quiet corner, another creator is hunched over a laptop, quietly studying their channel's analytics, looking for patterns. There are no loud phone calls, no flashy camera setups, no performing for an audience. It's just pure, focused creation. These cafes operate on a foundation of mutual respect. Everyone there understands that they're there to work. The environment is protected by an unspoken agreement to maintain the peace. And what's fueling all this creativity? Matcha here. It's not just a trendy drink. It's an essential part of the workflow. Unlike coffee, which can give you a sharp, jittery energy spike followed by a crash, matcha offers something different. It provides a calm, sustained focus and is known to help reduce anxiety. Many creators say that drinking matcha allows them to edit for longer periods without feeling burnt out. They find it easier to write more thoughtful, nuanced scripts, and to maintain a sense of mental balance, which is crucial when you're your own boss. Even the ritual of preparing and drinking matcha slow, mindful whisking, the deliberate sip sets the tone for a productive and intentional creative session. It transforms the act of creation from something rushed and frantic into a calm, deliberate practice. Inside these cafes, you can also see a distinct approach to the creative process. For these Japanese YouTubers, channel growth isn't about finding quick hacks or jumping on every trend. It's about refinement. They are obsessed with the details. They focus intensely on things like the clarity of their story, the crispness of their audio quality, the immediate readability of their thumbnails, and above all, showing deep respect for their viewers' time and attention. Instead of constantly chasing new, flashy ideas, they follow the principle of kaizen, or continuous improvement. They will slightly tweak a title to make it clearer, carefully adjust the pacing of an edit to improve retention, or rewrite a script multiple times until every word feels right. They study their viewer retention graphs, not to find tricks, but to understand their audience on a deeper level. It's all about making small, incremental changes that lead to significant long-term results. So what can creators outside of Japan learn from this? You don't have to move to Kyoto to apply these powerful lessons to your own work. The philosophy of these creator cafes teaches us that creativity truly thrives in calm, focused environments. It shows us that real, sustainable growth often comes from consistency and patience, not from constant pressure and burnout. A slower, more deliberate workflow can actually lead to much higher quality results. And it reminds us that our culture and environment profoundly shape the way we create. Perhaps the biggest takeaway is this: respect your audience, respect your process, and most importantly, respect your own pace. True creativity can't be rushed. In the end, Kyoto's hidden creator cafes are beautiful proof that success on platforms like YouTube doesn't have to be loud, chaotic, or stressful. Sometimes, all you really need is a quiet table, a warm bowl of matcha, and the patience to get just a little bit better, step by step, day by day. Behind these ancient wooden doors, a new generation of digital dreams are quietly, but powerfully, taking shape. And maybe, just maybe, your next creative breakthrough doesn't need more noise, but a little more silence. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. When you think of Kyoto, you probably picture ancient temples, geishas gliding down stone-paved streets, and serene gardens. It's a city that feels frozen in time. But what if I told you there's another side to Kyoto? A modern, creative pulse, hidden just behind its traditional facade, a side most tourists never see. Imagine stumbling upon a quiet cafe, not with tourists taking photos, but with laptops open, cameras on tables, and people deep in thought. Today we're sharing the real stories of foreign visitors who accidentally discovered Kyoto's hidden creator cafes. These aren't just coffee shops. They're spaces that completely changed how these creators see Japan work, and even themselves. Emma, a travel vlogger from the UK, was wandering through a quiet neighborhood when she noticed a simple wooden sliding door. "I honestly thought it was just a normal coffee shop," she says. "There was no sign, no menu outside. I almost walked past it, but curiosity got the better of her. When she opened the door, what she found was unexpected. The air was filled with an absolute calm. People were working silently, typing on their keyboards, sketching in notebooks. There were no phone calls, no chatter, just a shared, focused energy. I realized very quickly," Emma recalls, "this wasn't a tourist cafe. Everyone was here to create. For many foreigners, this is the first surprise." Kyoto's creator cafes don't advertise their creativity with flashy signs. You feel it in the intense, quiet focus of the room. This silence can be a culture shock. Lucas, a filmmaker from France, puts it perfectly. "In my country, cafes are loud. Creativity is chaos here. Silence is the creative tool." He admits that at first the quiet was almost uncomfortable. There was no background music, no small talk between tables. Even the sound of keyboards seemed softer, more deliberate. But after 20 minutes, he says, my brain slowed down. The distractions just melted away. I ended up editing faster and with more clarity than usual. This introduces a powerful Japanese concept. Productivity doesn't need noise to exist. In fact, for deep work, silence can be the most essential ingredient. And it's not just the atmosphere that's different, it's the fuel. Sophia, a lifestyle YouTuber from Spain, noticed everyone was drinking matcha. "I ordered a matcha latte because everyone else did," she explains. It felt ceremonial. She watched the barista prepare it slowly, with great care. The whole process felt respectful, and there was no sense of being rushed. The energy was calm, not aggressive like a coffee buzz, Sophia notes. "I stayed for 3 hours without feeling tired or jittery." Foreigners quickly realize these cafes aren't just about offering Wi-Fi. They're designed to cultivate sustained focus, a state that many creators struggle to find in the constant hustle of their home countries. What's truly fascinating is how community forms in these silent spaces. Ethan, a documentary creator from the US, spent an entire afternoon in one cafe. I didn't speak to anyone, he says, but I felt connected. Howie explains that eye contact replaces conversation. Polite nods when someone enters or leaves replace formal introductions. There's an unspoken understanding that everyone is there to work, and everyone respects each other's creative bubble. It was collaboration without collaboration, Ethan reflects. It's a new kind of community, built not on constant interaction, but on a shared purpose and mutual respect for each other's focus. This environment doesn't just change how you work, it changes how you think about your work. Maria, who runs an educational channel in Germany, came to Kyoto for a travel video. What she found in these cafes made her rethink her entire creative strategy. She watched Japanese creators at neighboring tables, noticing their incredible attention to detail. They were rewriting scripts multiple times, meticulously editing subtitles, calmly reviewing their analytics, she says. They were polishing their craft. She realized that for many Japanese creators, the focus is on longevity, respect for the viewer, and slow, incremental improvement. This patient approach is a world away from the high-pressure, algorithm-driven creator culture found elsewhere. So why Kyoto and not Tokyo? Jacob, a tech reviewer from Canada, has a great take on it. Tokyo pushes you forward, he says. Kyoto pulls you inward. Visitors describe Kyoto as slower, less competitive, and mentally restorative. The city itself encourages a different pace of life, and its creator cafes are a reflection of that. They are spaces for deep thinking, long-term planning, and what you might call creative patience. It's not about finding the next growth hack. It's about building something with care that will last. It's about creative sustainability. They learn that silence boosts clarity, that a calm environment improves the quality of their work, that deep respect for the process enhances creativity, and most importantly, that your environment shapes your mindset. As Emma from the UK said, I don't need to find Kyoto cafes back home. I need to build the Kyoto mindset. For many, this accidental discovery permanently changes how they approach their creative work. Kyoto's hidden creator cafes are not tourist attractions. You won't find them in guidebooks. They are quiet ecosystems where ancient tradition and modern digital dreams coexist beautifully. For the foreign visitors who stumble upon them, it's more than just a pleasant surprise. It's a profound lesson in how creativity can thrive, not in noise and chaos, but in focus and tranquility. Sometimes the most powerful ideas are born in silence. Thanks for watching. If you've discovered a place that changed how you work, share it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from the quiet corners of the world.